Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. Now today's video is going to be quite a special video because it's going to be a follow-up to the Why I Quit Competing video, which I posted probably around 3 videos ago. But the reason why I'm doing a follow-up is because of your response and the conversations I had at Body Power and the Gymshark pop-up store. I was overwhelmed. It felt like every other person I spoke to wanted to talk to me about that video and how it has somehow affected them in some way, and how it made them think, it made them consider different things about competing. So I really wanted to talk more about it, and I know hopefully some of you are watching who came to visit me at Body Power on this video. Hopefully you'll like what I have to say now. Now this video is going to be almost the after effects of competing and what to do and my tips on how to move on from competing to then just living a normal everyday life, which I am doing now. I'm not saying, and I never have been, that having a goal is bad. And I think that's what I want to talk about in some of my tips. So I'm going to break this video down into 5 of my top tips, how I have gone from competing and living quite a solitary life, living at my mum's house, living in the comfort of my own home where I have done my whole life, to transitioning to moving to London, to going out to social events many times in the week, and to be comfortable with gaining weight steadily and then staying how I've stayed at like a comfortable, maintainable weight. The only thing that I asked you guys, if you really like the content in this video, if you have found it useful, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to drop me a comment below. I really appreciate every single one of you. So let's get on with my tips. If you haven't watched the Why I Quit Competing video, I'll pop it in the description below, but I recommend you watch that first before you watch the follow-up. But briefly to recap, I did compete for quite a few years and did quite well in competing, but I talked last time about my reasons, my 5 reasons why I stopped competing and I wanted to get away from it. When you choose to do that, I'm not saying by any means it's just like roses and fairy tales and you go from being stage lean and to accepting your body as just a normal everyday human. And I did go through various stages of binging, not into the same extent that a lot of competitors do, because it is definitely the majority of people do it who compete and after competing or between competitions, and it is, in my experience, it's just doesn't really get talked about too much. It's kind of brushed under the carpet that quite a few competitors go into the sport and maybe have had eating disorders or disordered patterns of eating or an unhealthy relationship with food before they get into competing, and it is that other form of control, and that's why they do it. So in no way am I saying that it is really easy to go from really controlled, like really crazily controlled way of eating and exercise to almost an element of freedom. And sometimes that element of freedom and the out of control kind of aspect really can, I suppose, damage some people. My first top tip, and what I've learned along the way, is to stop associating your self-worth with how you look, so how lean you are, because when you stop competing you aren't gonna be stage lean all the time. It's not healthy for one, it's just not maintainable, and no one really walks around like that. And actually, if you see someone in stage lean condition, they do look a little bit freakish, and that isn't necessarily like a really bad thing to say, because I understand that they've got in that condition for a day, but you can't walk around like that. It's not healthy. I think we'll all agree on that. So it's about trying to accept your body a little bit bigger. So in my next top tips, I'm going to share how I did that. We've gone from not associating your self-worth with actually how lean you are, but there is a difference in doing that and what I just talked about in binging and going completely off the rails. From going to competition where you have to be really controlled, it's really good, I have found, to have still that element of control in tracking. And maybe you want to give yourself a day if you don't want to track your macros anymore. I'm tracking my macros at the moment and I'm just living a healthy life, so it is doable. But if you don't want to track your macros anymore, if you think that is mentally like not good for you, having to rigorously track your food, maybe give yourself like a day or two off and kind of wean yourself off those stages of tracking if you want to do kind of intuitive eating approach. But I would say get a coach, or at least write your own plan if you feel like you're able to do that. Still have that control, but have someone else that is maybe like on the sidelines to tell you, because a lot of the time you're not in the greatest state of mind to make your own decisions. So having someone there to kind of just tell you don't have to make your own decisions. They say, no, you need to do this. I can look at your body, I can assess where I think you should go, and by doing that, it won't be like, oh my god, I just want to eat all the food, now I'm like free, I just want to eat all the chocolate and all the biscuits and all the cookies and all the burgers, because also guys, that isn't healthy too. So my top tip number 3, if you have a binge, if you have a down day, if you have a period of time where you think, actually I feel really confused about where I want to go, I don't know what I want to do in my life, like competing was there, like I've worked towards a goal, I've done that for 20 weeks, where am I at? Because actually it's not just competing, people go through so many stages of their lives in different kind of aspects, where it's like a breakup or grief or anything like that, and people go through sad times. But I suppose in the past for me, I got so consumed by sadness and I didn't think about the bigger picture. I didn't think, actually, I'm sad at the moment, but I know every day I might feel better, or tomorrow I might feel a little bit worse, but the next day I'm going to feel a little bit better than I did yesterday. So I think it's having that kind of bigger picture in mind, is having that focus that if you have one bad day, you know that it's going to get better. You just have to think about the bigger picture. Moving on to my tip number 4, and I feel like all these steps are leading on from the last one, is plan a challenge. Have a plan of action, and that doesn't mean having another challenge, another goal to do with how you physically look. It could be your work, it could be a physical challenge, but it doesn't have to do with your physique. So there's a difference there. So there's like a physical challenge, like a lot of people go into powerlifting because you need to eat all the food, you need to get stronger. You might do a CrossFit event, you might do like a massive like hill walk challenge. I know that this is like a massive extreme, but I was talking to Sean Stafford, you may know him, and he competed in WBFF a lot. I mean, he did amazingly. He's been in the fitness industry for so long. We were in an Uber together, going to Body Power actually, and he flew off on Monday to actually climb to Everest Base Camp. He's doing a marathon from there, which is crazy. He's never actually done a marathon just on the flat in this country or anywhere in the flat in his life, but he wanted a challenge. He wants to set himself a challenge, and he has competed, and he wanted to set himself a different challenge. And he actually said, I know it's not the way that I'll ideally look, or it's not the best I've ever looked now, but it's a different challenge and it's away from competing. So I'm not saying you have to be an extreme as Sean Stafford, but you set yourself a challenge away from competing. My last top tip, and leading on from distracting yourself and the focus part, is surrounding yourself with friends. Now, I know that when I was competing, and I think I talked about it in my Why I Quit Competing video, I alienated myself from friends and family, and that was pretty harsh on my life, because actually we need people around us to lift us up in kind of negative parts of our lives. It's good to have laughter, it's good to have people to smile with, it's good to have, when you have a problem, to have like a friend to ring. And sometimes I felt like I did have that, but I alienated myself so much that actually I felt like a total disconnect with people. So if you feel like you don't have that many people around you, this is a prime time to connect with maybe different circle of friends, put yourself out there. Social media is, maybe it's got positives and negatives, but the real positives about it is that I know for me it's allowed me to connect with so many like-minded people and to speak to people online. And you can, obviously in a safe environment, you can meet up with them and you do see them as friends because they have got so many interests in common. It could be about joining another club, it could be about doing a new like class at the gym. Like, I love going to F45 classes now. It's totally away from lifting weights and weightlifting and things like that and bodybuilding, but I really like it because it's like a team atmosphere. So that is my top tip number 5. Now guys, I am going to leave it there for today, but I really hope you've liked these 5 top tips to really help you transition from competing to just living a normal everyday life. And by no means I am saying I am perfect. It has been an easy road, but I promise you, if you really think positively about the situation, if you know this is what you want to do, it will get easier and it will get better. If you are struggling from leaving competing, or you're thinking maybe I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm going to leave it there for today, but I will be back with another video very soon. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, make sure you like this video and drop me a comment. I really appreciate you. And it's actually going to be uploaded today. What even day is it? We're on Tuesday the 22nd of May, guys. It's 7:09 in the morning. Tired eyes. But it will be uploaded at 4 o'clock on my channel. So I'll catch you then. Bye.